Suzanne, Luke, welcome to the Empower Network.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited.
We were just joking because Suzanne is a big Star Wars fan. You said you almost wore a Star Wars shirt.
I did. And I should have done that. We talked about that, trusting your gut.
Trusting your gut. So, Suzanne, you are a very interesting person. Just a little bit I know about you, and we're going to go a few different places. But let's start with what you just shared with me off screen before. So you were raised Catholic and
so, so like in Star Wars, it's May the Force be with you. And so I was raised Catholic, and in Mass, you have this portion of the Mass where everyone turns around to each other and is like, peace be with you, shake each other's hand. And I would always be like, may the Force be with you, may the Force be with you. And people are always like, yeah, wait, what did you say? And they just kind of smile and roll through it. And then they're like, don't stand next to her anymore. But
So what made you fall in love with Star Wars? I got to ask, I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, as I told you. So what made you?
Awesome. High five. Yeah.
High five.
Yeah. It's this is so cool. Nobody really asked me my opinion on Star Wars. So this is really fun to talk about it. I love how they talk about feelings a lot, which some people kind of poo-poo, and they're like, feelings, emotions. And yet Star Wars is really big on being tuned into that, as in like a guiding force of which side do you choose? What decision do you make? And there's also so many sub layers happening all at the same time. And you start finding out that some people aren't like, there's like, it's like duality, there's good and there's bad, good and bad, in everyone. And you fall in love with some of these characters who shift to the other side, and you think you hate this one character, and then they shift to the other side. And it's sort of like, what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong. And it's a timeless story that I think tells us a lot about ourselves.
Can you talk about the feelings aspect? Because I know I was raised quite religiously, and I can't say from my parents or maybe from church. I don't know if it's from my parents or church, but I came out like putting down feelings because I thought feelings, if I was led by feelings, I would be weak.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, yeah. What are your thoughts on that? Because as I'm growing, I'm learning that, wow, feelings are indicators, not always telling me what to do, but almost like to take notice of things. Tune in. What have you noticed in your journey with like the frequency of what's going on, the feelings,
I think you said that so well. So I believe emotions and feelings are kind of different, but I think feelings are I believe that there's like an intelligence all throughout the body in every cell. And so, your gut has a lot of intelligence, really, almost like another brain, and so it's constantly giving you like feedback, and it's hardly ever wrong. And the feedback it gives you is those feelings. And when we have feelings of like, guilt and shame or depression, it's like, we don't like that doesn't feel good. And I think that tells us like, we're in this path. And so our feelings are like, this doesn't feel good. But then you have like love and joy and giving. And then that shifts you over into this lane. And it's like, oh, this feels good. Yeah, I want to be here, and inspiration. And it's kind of like that, hey, Suzanne, let's go over here. Come on. It's kind of that guiding force. Yeah.
So let's get into what you do, because you're a different type of person, and in the best way so far. Like I know a little bit about you, but because you run, you plant trees.
I do, yeah.
Into running. So let's talk a bit about some of the things that people who don't know you'd be like, what?
So I love trees, and I've always loved trees, and I don't know why. I kind of know why. I just think they're amazing. I mean, they can live without us, but we can't live without them. And they're old, they're ancient, they don't ask for anything, they're very still, and I just have always just loved them, and they're just beautiful. And I also like running, and I've ran my whole life, and I used to run track, and then I kind of got away from running a little bit, and I realized whenever things were getting kind of tough in my life, I went back into running, and it was like, oh, it was that feelings thing, it's like I would run, and it's like, yes, I feel like connected to everything right now, because I believe we're all connected, and it would happen when I ran. And it would happen among trees usually the most. I mean, it was like this energy and you said the word frequency. And so fast forward, and that feeling never went away, and it kind of got bigger and bigger. And I started feeling like I need to do something with this, like it needs to come out. And so I asked for something to come through me. And then all of a sudden I had the idea for 100 for trees. And I thought, well, I'm going to raise money and we're going to plant trees. And then I thought, but there's more. There's got to be like an element of me, like putting some skin in the game, so to speak. And so I was like, I'm going to run 100 miles and plant 100 trees. And people were like, yeah, and I was like, no, that's like this audacious thing that I don't even know if I can do. And I'm going to see if I can do it. And so, during that time period, my dad passed away, and I was real close to my dad. He's like my best friend, my favorite person. And so a couple of months after he passed away, I was like, oh, it's happening, like now, like this is going to happen now. And so I ran a race, and I did 100 miles in one day. And it was like, wow, and you kind of see that and you're like, well, what else can I do? And and it just kind of, what can we all do? Because I'm not like, I'm ordinary, and so anyways, so then I created the 100 for trees, and I thought, okay, we're going to raise $100, or $100, we're going to plant 100 trees. I'm going to run 100 miles. And so my company, Busy Janes, we committed to planting 100 trees every single month this year. And so far we've ran 300 miles and planted 300 trees. And so
you said your company is called Busy Jane?
Yes. Yeah.
Because you are someone that you move a lot. Like you.
I know, I'm trying so hard to be still. It's like,
Suzanne, school system is messed up. You don't have to be still. People that think people have to be still, that's not a very aware mindset. No, if you need to move, you need to move. This is how you're created. So I think it's fantastic. So you probably get a lot done.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I do like to, I do like projects, and just, okay, we're doing this project. I like teamwork things. I like bigger vision things, being a part of it. And so, that's very inspirational for me. And so, 100 for trees is just like, I think about it so much, like all the time, like, how can I make it better? How can I, how can I share it with more people? How can I help more, And so, yeah.
Pamela Morel Batia is saying she just loves this. So she's chiming in.
Oh, cool.
Thanks, Pam. Okay, so we've talked about the running trees. So what else is going on in your life then? Because you got a lot of things going on.
Yeah, I think we all kind of do. So I also well, I have my company, and so I put a lot of time into that. As anyone, as you run your business, it's your baby. It's like your other kid, and it's a baby for a long time and needs a lot of food and water and attention, and so it's 24/7 in a good way until it no longer needs that. But I'm also a single parent, and I have two awesome kids, and they're 10 and 11, and they're my big time why, and it all kind of gels together. And whenever I have clients and I get new clients, I try to truly partner with them and their vision and what they want, and see if it's really a good collaboration. And so I like to know, like, what's their vision? What do they want? Are they trying to do more, or not do more? Do they see that there's a connection between maybe what they're doing as a job or building as a company, and it affecting, the environment, the world, people, whatever their mission is. And I find that when I collaborate with those people and I don't worry about the dollars, it just works out. It's like the universe conspires, and just like makes it happen. And you just kind of go along for the ride, and you're like, this is the vision, let's go, So that was kind of a long answer to a short question.
No, this is great. This is great. So when you work with clients, what specifically are you working with them on?
So each one right now is kind of different. And I know that's not awesome for scalability, but that's kind of where I am and right now. It's so I have software that I use, and I kind of put it together and build it out based on what they need. And so like I have one person who wants to build an app right now that will allow him to give money. He lives in Canada, and it will allow him to give money to his relatives in Africa. And so, stuff like that is like, I find myself going, let's see if we can do that. Like, let me think about that. And I know what the software does, and they don't want anything to do with the software. And it's kind of overwhelming to them. And so we talk, and we have meetings, and we put the project together, and we just start building it. And so that's kind of what I do.
So you're helping people solve their problems. You have a bit of a technical side, and you're obviously you're a curious learner, or else you wouldn't be doing this. So you're plugging. Are you white labeling different software applications?
Yes, okay. Very good. Yeah, it is. Yeah. And so I'm not a developer, but I kind of take those pieces and I put them together because I found, as you probably understand, there's people who are really good at maybe the vision part, and they get overwhelmed because you have to have the tech part. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is. Yep. And the software, they're like, I don't want that, but they know they have to have it. And the software is meant to do the heavy lifting for you. It's meant to make your life easier so that you can be the visionary, so you can keep building your company and your business and scaling it, so that you don't get pulled down into the minutia. Because you see so many people with these great ideas, but they're wearing all these different hats because they have to figure out how to talk to their customers and their marketing, and they don't really even like that part. And they're trying to do it all. And then their vision starts dying, and they start, kind of getting that real heavy feeling. And so the software is not supposed to do that. It's supposed to like do that heavy lifting for you so that you can be the dreamer still, and you can keep going out there.
You are really good at pitching. Do you sell?
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
Well, no. I mean, thank you. I'll take that.
Yeah, no, you're excellent at presenting. Your body language, you're conveying. Anyway, I'm shocked you don't know that, but do you do your own marketing? Like, how do you, okay. You're obviously comfortable in front of camera.
Yes. Well, I kind of fake it till I make it. And I try to just like, well, like you, you're so easygoing, you're laid back, you're for real. And it's very easy to speak to you. But even if I'm not comfortable, I try to like take a step back and be like, okay, it's not about me. What needs to come through? There's a bigger message that needs to come through. And I'm gonna kind of get out of the way, and it's gonna come. I just know it's gonna come.
I love that you recognize that, and that's what your intention is, because a lot of times you watch people and they're not doing that. And so the fact that you recognize that and you offer that to your clients, I'm sure can you give us some testimonials of people I wouldn't be surprised if people just love working with you. So can you give us some testimonials about that?
Okay. I don't know if I'm answering your question, but I do have a client. She's a functional medicine physician, and her story is pretty cool because she was trained traditionally in medicine, and she was realizing that she was feeling, and I absolutely agree with her on this, that she really was not helping people. She was like, no, there's like other, like there's Eastern medicine that can help with this too. And there's ancient traditions that can help. But traditional Western medicine was like, no, you can't use that. So she branched off, and she took the leap of faith to open up her own clinic. And she didn't know anything about marketing. Real bright lady, but she didn't know much about marketing. And she was getting pulled down being the physician and running her clinic. And yet she couldn't do like all of this. And so I came in there, and I was like, and she was at this point where she's like, I got to shut this down. I can't do it. And I'm like, no. I'm like, let's, what problems are you having? What do you need fixed? What is your vision still? Don't lose your dream. And I found that like, sometimes all she needed was somebody just to come in and be like, I believe in you. I believe in your dream. You are doing it. It may not look like you're doing it, but you're doing it. And we're going to take little steps with this automation, and we're going to take that off your plate. And now you can do this. And then we took the next step. Okay, let's take that off your plate with this automation. Now you have more time to do this. And so she's been with me for several years now. And it's been really cool to see her kind of like, oh, what am I going to do? To like, yeah, let's do this,
Wow. How many problems that business owners face, percentage-wise, roughly, would you say could be solved with the proper software application?
Oh, that is a great question. I need to put that like out there somewhere. I don't really have research and data, but I can say through my experience, oh my gosh, I would say at least like 75 to 80%, because there's so much redundancy and repetitive things that are being done that you don't have to do. You don't have to do them. And you can still maintain that human touch. And that's another thing I always tell my clients. I'm like, we're going to automate as much as we can, but we have to keep that human element in there. We can never lose that, because that's why we're all doing this. I don't want to talk to a machine. I want to talk to you. I want to know that you're listening to me on the other end. And it's okay to set up an appointment that I know I have to talk to a machine maybe, but I want to get to you eventually. And I want to know that there's that human touch on there somewhere. So we kind of collaborate the two. I don't think you can ever lose the human touch, and I don't think you should, but if you can get an appointment with somebody and you don't have to go in there and stay on a phone forever to make that appointment, sure, why not? Does that make sense?
That makes total sense. My mind just takes it different places, and I just want to ask other questions, but I also want to stay on purpose of this interview. So just give me a sec here. Okay, so what are you most passionate about in life, Suzanne? What fires you up? Top 2 or 3 things that fire you up the most? Besides Star Wars. Star Wars,
yeah. Yeah. Star Wars is pretty cool. I was really excited when my son got into it. I was like, oh yes, you're a nerd like me. But he geeks out even better. He goes like back to the Clone Wars, and I'm like, the what? And so he's got like the whole full picture. Even he educates me now. I really love I love learning with my kids. I homeschool them also. So whenever I get to teach them a lesson and see kind of like their interest and them enjoy like something they just learned, and then later on in the day see them maybe incorporate it or teach me something, it's like, that sense of like, I mean, like my daughter will even kind of be like, not like haughty, but she's like, I know that. I did that. I know that, and it's like, yeah, girl, that's exactly right. Because that'll carry them, into the future, at a time when I'm not here. And so that's a very like fulfilling, happy, just great place to be. And running.
Wow. Okay, I'm not sure what else we should talk about. Like, you got a whole story. Is there anything that you would like to talk about? I just want to leave this kind of up to you. Where would you like to? We're going to tag you in this. We're going to talk about if you have a website. The whole purpose of this is to give people an idea of who you are and why you do what you do, as well as a little bit of the practical. Because my joy in doing this is when I find out after that people have connected and or done business. Yeah. That's the purpose of this. So this is why we don't talk about spend 30, 40 minutes talking about technically what do you do. We talk about some of that, but we talk about like, what do you value? What is most important? Because people obviously buy from others who value what they value.
Yeah.
Their whys align. So
yeah.
What is your goal?
Wait, what did you say? That was cool. What did you say?
Well, their whys align.
Oh, their whys align. That's cool. I like that. Their whys align.
Well, Simon Sinek, in that TEDx talk, like 10 more years ago, he said, start with why, which is why Apple was so successful until Steve Jobs basically left, because their why was, very crystal clear to to give people an exceptional experience in life. They just happen to build computers. They happen. So your why is all the things you've talked about and displayed for us. You happen to help people solve automation problems that they may not be aware they have with plug and play white label software. But your why is what you just described with your kids. Your why is why you talked about why you love connecting with nature and what you admire about the trees, because they're resilient and they're still, and how you want to help amplify in life the fact that we're all connected. Everything we do is much bigger than just me going to this coffee shop, buying that coffee. It's dealing with that barista who then has to go home, and then it amplifies in the butterfly effect of. So you've displayed for us a lot of your why.
You ask good questions. You've obviously done this a few times.
Well, this is going a little differently. Everything goes a little differently anyway but I just want to leave it open. Is there anything else you want to share that's important to you on this?
Thank you for asking that. Well, I just want to say, like, I really love what you're doing and the community that you're building, and why you appear to be doing it. That intention comes across really heavy. It's like there's almost an energy when you look even at your Facebook group, and you can really feel that. And I just want to say, like, kudos to you for doing that, and you know, because it takes a lot of courage to do that and to keep stepping into there and doing it. And it's great when you run across people doing that and see it. And it takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of energy too. And very, you know, there's a lot of pieces that you're having to put together. And I don't know what you balance. You may balance, I'm sure you're balancing a lot, you know, but I really appreciate what you're doing out in the community.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate you saying that and recognizing it. It's come at a cost, but everything we do that matters has a cost, as you well know that. So, okay, I guess we wrap it here, Suzanne. So do you have a website? How do you want people to get in contact with you?
Oh, cool. Thank you. So I do have a website. It's always being worked on, and so it changes, but it's bizzyjanes.com, and that's BIZZY Janes, JANES.com. But you can also put in Busy Janes, BUSY. I have it pointing to the domain points to the same place. But you can also find me on Instagram, Suzanne 100 Luke. And yeah. Did
you say Busy Janes, I'm just going to type it in the chat. BIZZ?
Yes. Why?
Janes, JANES?
Yes, sir. .com.
Yeah, I'll just, in case someone didn't catch it, I just put it in the chat.
Thank you.
And I'll message you after this. Thank you so much for being on the Empower Network. You got excellent energy, and I'm thankful to be able to interview you today. So,
thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. If you've watched this, you've been watching Suzanne Luke on the Empower Network or listening on the podcast, whichever it is. And please reach out to Suzanne if anything she said jives with you and you want to connect with her. Please do so. Thanks, Suzanne. We'll chat soon.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Amos. Bye.